How to sell your art so fast it feels illegal. If you don't know me, my name is Oliver. I sold over 200,000 worth of my art, and I had months when I made like 30,000, like a single month 30,000, or like when I really committed in 2020, the first 45 days, and that was after I got a coach, I made 26,000 in art sales. So that's very fast, and for most people it feels almost like illegal, right? It's like, I had even thoughts that, am I charging too much? Or, like I had I second guessed myself a little bit, but I needed to let go of that. I needed to let go of the limiting mindset of this person that I was before, that was shy and timid and was dimming my light, so I'm not doing anything wrong. I needed to completely let that go and completely believe in myself and my art. And I want to talk about this in this video. I'm going to share with you also like strategies that I actually use to sell art, but I also will talk about mindset. And I know many of you don't want to hear it, but if you don't believe you can do it, there is no strategy in the world, even if it's the best strategy on planet Earth, it's not going to help you because you won't execute. Guaranteed. It's like, if you don't believe in yourself and your art, why would you go through all the effort and the work to make a strategy work if you anyways don't believe it works? I mean, that you can do it, right? So let's talk about some things in here, but yeah, you can sell your art probably way faster than you believe, right? I talk to a lot of artists, and what I see happening often is that you set very small goals for a long time period, right? It's like, maybe this year I want to sell 20,000 worth of my art. 20,000 in a whole year is not much. First of all, is this even exciting for you? Like, do you wake up in the morning and you can't wait to get to work and make it happen? Or is it more coming from a place of, oh, I tried so many things and, I'm kind of exhausted. I don't even know if this works, but 20,000 in a year would be nice, right? So that's actually where it starts. Okay, so a few things. First, before you think about your strategy, you really do need to do some work on your mindset. And let's define mindset, because it's like not just fluff, right? What is mindset in my opinion? First, it's like knowing exactly what you want, like having a vision of a life that excites you, right? If you don't have this fire where you just wake up in the morning because you're so excited about what you're doing, then it's going to be really hard. And everything is going to feel hard, right? If you need to do certain things, if you need to call certain places or people or talk to people, take action, it feels hard. It's just not very motivating, right? So the first part of selling out so fast it feels illegal is like having an exciting vision. And the vision is now not just for your art. I want you to have a vision based on the life that you want to live. And obviously your art is a big part of that, right? Your art is going to enable you to live the life of your dreams. That's very important. You want to create a vision that excites you. I differentiate between like a big dream. Like, we have all these big dreams of like making maybe millions in art sales, or like being in museums, or, some things are achievable sooner and others, they will just take more time, right? They're really, really big. Also like being a millionaire and driving a beautiful car and living at the beach. Some things are possible sooner, others take more time, right? So I have dreams, I have big dreams, but what I really focus on is the vision that feels relatively close. I don't know if my vision is going to happen in a year, in 2 years, but even maybe 3 years. But it could also happen sooner. It could happen in 6 months, honestly, right? Because there are things you can control and things you can't control. You cannot control how fast things will go, but you can control, of course, like your level of inspiration, your level of motivation, and how much action you take. And that's actually what really matters. But the vision should be something that just gets you out of bed and makes you excited every single day, right? Because then things will be easier. It's almost like you are pulled to do the work. You're pulled to do the right things. Even if you're afraid of doing something, the vision is so much bigger than your fears that you will be pulled in this direction, right? You still need to do things that you're afraid of. You still need to get out of your comfort zone, but you have a reason, you have a vision that's pulling you forward. Then to fuel the fire, think about why you want that. And that's part of your vision as well. Like, why do you want all of this? Why do you want to make a living from your art? Why do you pick a certain number? What will this number enable you to do, right? How will your life look like? And think about more reasons, like maybe providing for your family. Why do you want to provide for your family, right? Why do you want to be full-time? Why do you want to paint more? Like what, like really think about it. What is your why? What is your deep reason or reasons to make a living from your art and achieve the goals that you want to achieve? That's the foundational work, right? And I highly recommend every single person do that first. And it doesn't take so much time. It's actually an ongoing process, but you start the process by really sitting down for an hour and think about that deeply. Okay, write everything down that comes to your mind. Just allow yourself to dream. If you are not so good at writing, maybe you can just make a voice message or talk to ChatGPT, but just let it all out and think of possibilities. Don't think about limitations. Let go of the thoughts, because it's just an exercise. It's just to have fun, right? So have fun with this. Don't think about the how yet. Okay, that's the first part. If you have this foundational work done, you're going to work on this day by day, right? Because you will expand, you will have new wishes and dreams and desires, right? So that's an ongoing process, but you have to start it. And once you start it, you already have a certain foundation. And when you really do this right, you sit down and you take time, I'm telling you, it makes all the difference, right? And that's every single time I felt demotivated or I just didn't feel so good. Maybe my art sales haven't been that good anymore. I was sitting down and just thinking about, like, why do I want this? What do I want? Why do I want it? And just like really going deep into these questions. What I did next is, like, I was just visualizing my success. I was visualizing people buying my art, and I was like using gratitude a lot, right? So every single day, sit down and meditate. I mean, meditation, I think, is so extremely important because it makes you so much more calm and focused and clear, which is really important. But then at the same time, when you meditate, you can use some visualization. And I did it very simply. I sometimes just was thankful for all the money. Like, something I'm telling myself now is like, I have more money than I can spend. And I'm like, thanks so much that I have more money than I can spend. I see collectors buying my art, or like collectors that bought my art in the past, to just remember, right? Because it doesn't matter if you visualize the past that was positive, like positive experiences and memories, or if it's in the future, because the point of all this visualization is that you get in this state where you're like so excited about your future, what's going to happen, right? And you can already see it happening. You can see people buying. And as I said, if you do this right, you're going to get excited. You're going to get excited about when is the next person coming that buys my art, right? And when you reach out to a lot of people, you, instead of it being like something you have to do and it's hard, it's more like, I'm excited because I really don't know who is the next person that will buy my art. It could be the next person, it could be the 5th person, it could be the 10th person, but it doesn't matter because I know it will come. Right? If you can see it in your mind, it will happen. And it's not up to you to figure out how, or when something isn't working to say, oh, this isn't working, it's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. Right? You need to stay positive, like positive meaning connected to your vision and the reasons you put down, like the reasons you said you want this, right? That you stay connected to that. Once you did the foundational work, and by the way, I would even include like defining yourself as a successful artist. That should be part of your vision. Who are you, right? Who is this successful version of you that makes the amount of money that you want from your art? And then you will also see, yeah, maybe you're not that person yet, and that's completely okay. But that's what you really work on becoming that person, showing up like that person. If you are a successful artist, like super successful, highly respected, famous, wealthy, all the things that you want, how do you show up? How does this version of you show up every single day? And what is this version not doing anymore that you're currently doing, right? That's also very important. Sometimes we need to let go of things that are just not getting us there. They're just distracting us. They're draining our energy. So these are really important things to think about. And if you do all of this work, you're going to be like, your energy is at a different level, your motivation is at a different level, and you're just like, you're in a different space. And then everything that you do is going to lead to so much more results. I promise you that, right? Because I mean, what's the difference of an artist that sells his artworks for 500 versus one that's 5,000? We think it's so many different things. It's the talent, the skills, but it's not. I could have decided to keep selling my art for 1,000 and I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I decided that I'm going to show up as a successful artist, and I wanted to sell my art for high prices, right? And that's actually the next point. Most of the time, the easiest and fastest way to sell your art, to make more money from your art, is raising your prices. And I know that can be so scary, and it's not for everyone. You have to choose your path. But when I started, I sold my art for an average of 1,000 Swiss francs. When I got the coach, he told me, raise your prices to 4,000. And I'm like, isn't this a bit much? And he's like, no. And I'm like, should we maybe start with 2,000 or 3,000? He said, no again. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to lose? I mean, I'm not really making a living. I'm not selling much. So why don't I just try it? And I did. And actually, the first person I talked to, he bought a painting for 4,000 right there and then. And a month or 2 months later, he bought the second one. So I made 8,000 instead of 2,000 from one collector. Because there are people with money out there. There are people that are willing to buy your art, right? And they're willing to spend money. They have the money. And if you find the right people, it's not going to make a huge difference if you charge now 1,000, 2,000, or 4, 5, 6,000, right? At a certain point, it might make a difference. That's fine. But again, it comes down to your vision. Because let's say your vision is really to sell your paintings for 20,000, which I've done. I sold a painting for 24,000 USD. It's your choice, right? But just make sure that your vision is yours, right? Don't make a vision that you want to do it for the right reasons. Do create a vision that's really exciting for you. And for me, it was exciting to sell my art for 4, 5, 6,000. And then I just tested it out for more, right? And I kind of saw it as a game. I didn't take it so seriously. And obviously, for many people, it is serious, right? Because we want to make it happen. We want to live this life. But it should be fun, right? And the easiest way, or the first way to do that, or like to make it fun, is to create this vision. Create a vision in your mind that's like super fun, right? Something that excites you. And then the daily life, the things you actually have to do in your daily life become more fun too, especially if you're becoming the version that is successful. That's really when it becomes super fast, when it becomes easy fun, and when it starts feel illegal, because you're literally becoming a different person. And then when we go to the strategies, as I said, selling your art for higher prices is probably the easiest and fastest way to make more money with your art. Because I mean, I made how much more? Like from 2,000, I went to, that's 4 times as much as I would have if I kept selling them for 1,000, right? I made 8,000 instead. I mean, it blew my mind, and it really felt like it felt like it's illegal, because I made so much money. 45 days, 26,000. I mean, that really changed my life. And all I did is I made some decisions. That's literally it. The decision to raise my prices, and then the decision to show up differently, right? Show up as a successful artist that is talking to people. Because I haven't done that before. I was chatting with people per messenger, and that didn't really work. I was in the wrong groups where people they didn't really care about what I'm doing. They were looking for art for their home, and they were not willing to pay that much. But when I connected to my why and purpose as an artist, I was looking for people that resonate with that. These people were willing to pay more. The other thing is, you have to pick a strategy. You know my strategy. I talk about my strategy in many, many videos, right? So watch more videos as well, because as the video artist, if you need to make 5,000 in 5 days, watch this. I really go deep in the Facebook strategy that I'm using. And I have a mastermind where I'm like going even deeper. I think I have 10 hours of content in there, like in the mastermind, my social media art sales training. And it's so freaking powerful, because that's how I started. I wasn't looking for galleries. I wasn't trying to outsource my success, because I mean, they can work, but it probably will take time, because you have to find the right galleries, you have to find the right people. That might be more like a long-term approach. But I was done with waiting. I didn't want to wait anymore. I didn't want to outsource. I didn't want to hope anymore. I wanted to make it happen. And so I took it into my own hands, and I started being super proactive, right? I reached out to so many people every single day, to the right people in the right Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups where my ideal customer is in, that resonate with my why and my purpose as an artist, not my art medium. And I was just talking to so many people. My only goal was to get people on calls. That's it. That's before, like, I had my goal, I had my vision, I knew it already, right? I built the foundation. Now it was just up to me to talk to enough people. So that's what I was focusing on. And my next goal was to get people on calls, right? You can also do it live. You can meet people live, which I've done too. Like, if you can meet people live, that's even more powerful, right? It was just, for me, too much work because I don't have a car. So having a Zoom call was perfect, because I can do it from home and I can talk to quite a lot of people. That's literally what I was doing every single day. And the funny thing is, things started changing because I was connecting with people. I was talking to people, and that's the goal you want to get to, right? If you want to sell your art, if you want to sell more art, you have to get to a point where you talk to people, because that's where you make the exchange, right? That's where you exchange money for art. And if you think of, as an artist, you have an incredible gift. You can create art. It's almost like, if you just know the business strategies and the marketing strategies, you can turn your art into money. It's almost like alchemy, if you think of, especially since there is no, I mean, there are many rules in the art space, but if you think of, there is no real rule. You can choose what you want to charge for your art, right? So you literally can exchange your art to transform your art into money, right? But important is that you need to believe in the prices you charge, right? It's if you don't believe in the prices you're charging or asking for, then people they pick up on the subtle signs that, if you're insecure or you're not sure, and you're like, well, yeah, this painting, it's like 4,000. They can feel your insecurity. They feel that you don't really believe it. Because the thing is, with art, nobody really knows how much an artwork should cost, right? It's kind of confusing for art buyers or people that never bought art. So their security is your security. If you believe in your prices and you can say that with confidence, then they feel like that's the price. They feel like, okay, yeah, that's what it's worth, because you say it with confidence. And they need to know that they are buying something that's worth that much, because nobody wants to overpay for anything. Nobody, right? Not even the people that have money. They want to buy stuff that are worth what they're paying for, right? And some people, they want to get deals. But even there are ways to make it feel like a deal, right? There are many, many ways of how you can make it feel like a deal for people. I didn't have that problem really, because I feel like I was very confident and I was really showing up as a successful artist, whatever that meant for me, right? Being professional, being kind to people, inspiring people, and tell inspiring stories, connecting to them, listening to them. One of my rules was 80-20 rule. So I listen 80% of the time, I talk 20% of the time. And when I talk, I inspire them with my story, right? And that always worked wonders. And I always have art in the background. So the art conversation comes up naturally, right? And once they see my art and we talk about it, usually in the end of the call, once we already built the trust and the rapport, that's when I was just asking them if they're interested, right? So if you want to sell your art super fast, I highly recommend you focus, have the foundation ready, the vision, your reasons. Also pick a number you can actually believe in, like a number that excites you, that brings you out of bed because you get excited, and then back it up with action. And the most important action step you can take is talking to people one-on-one, like either Zoom calls, phone calls, or face-to-face, if you can do that. After you have the foundation ready and you know why you're doing all of this, and you get excited about the vision you created, the reasons you have, and the number you picked, that's when you need to only focus on the most important things in your business, which is conversations. That's it, right? And where I see a lot of artists struggle is they focus so much attention and time on their website or painting. I mean, painting is great. I was painting. I still had more than enough time to paint, actually. But sometimes we are in this lack mindset where we feel like we don't have enough time. We want to paint more, or the website is not perfect, or we work on a logo. These are not really needle movers. The needle mover is conversations, period, right? That's what you want to focus on, however you get there. If you want to use my Facebook strategy, it's a great way because it works. You need eyeballs, you need people to see your art. And there are many ways to do that. Instagram, which can be a bit difficult because you need to create a lot of content, you need to understand the algorithm, but you can work it out if you choose Instagram. You can get good at that and figure this stuff out. Facebook is, in my opinion, easier because you don't need to figure out the algorithm. All you need to do is like define your purpose as an artist, find Facebook group that resonate with your purpose as an artist, share your story in there, introduce yourself, post a picture with you and your art. And then if you find good groups, which also takes work, by the way, all of these steps require time, energy, and effort to figure out, right? But once you found some good groups and they resonate with your story, with your art, then you have lots of eyeballs. All you then need to do is be proactive and send every single person a message, a friend's request as well, if you can, but just send every single person a message. Build relationships, build rapport. And I took it a step further because I just realized from experience it's way harder to sell an artwork for a few thousands on Messenger because it's easier to ignore. And some people cannot afford it, but you second guess yourself because you don't get an answer from a lot of people. It's understandable. It's very easy to ignore a message. Sometimes people get busy too, and you don't know why they are ignoring you. So you're like in this mind space where you keep doubting yourself, like, was it the price? Was it this? Why don't they write anymore? Am I doing something wrong? Maybe yes, but maybe they're also just busy, right? So I just wanted to remove all of this confusion by talking to them on a call, because then I have them there. We are talking. If I say the price and I can see their reaction, and I can even ask them if it's the price, I can ask them if it's something different. I can ask them questions, I can have a conversation, and I can clarify things right there and then. Feels much better. Also for your mind space, because you're not like in this confused space where you doubt and second guess yourself, right? So I prefer that much more. It takes a bit of courage, obviously, if you haven't done that before. Like everything new you're trying to do, it will require you to get out of your comfort zone. But that's also where it comes back to building this new personality, building this successful artist version of you. You have to build that, right? You define it on paper. Once you did that, you need to show up and build it, right? You're building new habits, new neural pathways in your brain. And once you do that enough, you will get really good at that. And you will become the person that just does these things naturally. Once you get there, then it does feel like it's illegal. You're going to make money so much faster. That's how it works. As I said, there are 1,000 ways to roam. You can do exhibitions. You can even do prints. But again, that's where many artists get lost, because, selling prints on your website, let's say, where you don't want to jump with people on calls, you don't want to do all of this work. You still need eyeballs. You still need enough people to go to your website and actually purchase your art. And yes, there are ways, right? You can do ads. Maria does that very successfully. She does ads, but you already need money to invest in ads first. That's a problem that many artists have. Then you also need to know how ads work. But that's the thing. It's like every strategy you choose will require you to get better at it, right? You cannot just pick a strategy and think it's just going to work like this. And the vision and the reasons, they give you energy to go through these times and the challenges and, the doubts, because you're like, your vision is just so much more important, so much bigger than all the challenges that are coming, because they will, right? So get ready for it. Get ready for it by having a vision that excites you. That's so important. And it will require a bit of time. For everyone, it's differently. If you're highly, highly, highly motivated, as I was, I had a burning desire to quit my job because I couldn't stand it anymore. But I didn't quit my job before I haven't made some serious money from my art. I saved money from my job as much as possible. And then I was, the time that I had left, I was spending it on selling my art, learning these new things from my coach and taking massive action. And then once the money came in, that's when I felt super confident. Then on one point there was no doubt anymore. It's like the next logical step is to quit my job. So I hope that makes sense. I hope this video is inspiring. If you want the strategy more in depth, you have a few options. This YouTube channel is completely for free. So you can scroll through my YouTube channel, get information for free, completely fine. Because there are a lot of videos where I really go in depth, but it's not sorted, obviously, because it's a YouTube channel. I'm reaching new people every single day. And so it's differently than having a program. So the other option is you spend money, which is not even much, for our mastermind. You get in there and you get information that's way more sorted, right? My social media training on how I sold 200,000 worth of my art. That's it's sorted out, it's in detail, and it's actually nothing that I have in YouTube. It's way more in depth, right? Only for the mastermind members. So whatever you choose, completely fine. But just know that if you choose to get information for free, it might take you a little bit more time. That's fine. Whatever you want to do is okay. If you join the mastermind, you get the information in a sorted way. You get support from me and Maria. Maria is my business partner. If you don't know, she sold millions in art. And she actually did a lot of things like licensing deals. She did prints, right? She's making, I think she said 30,000 per month roughly from art prints. And they are just people going on their website and buying their prints. But she spends about 15,000 on ads. And she also needed to figure that out over time. So there are many ways. I still believe it's the fastest way to sell your art is to use the Facebook strategy, be proactive. And the other stuff, you can still build that over time, right? So there are many things that you can create an amazing art business with the knowledge that I have and the knowledge that Maria has, right? Also with building an email newsletter, very powerful. But all like these things take time, right? You have to build them. It's almost like many artists want to make passive income. First of all, nothing is really passive, right? Everything will require some time, effort, and energy from you. But yes, you could get to a point where it's relatively passive, but that usually takes more time to build, and you're going to see a return later, not immediately, right? It's like you might put in like half a year of time to build everything, but you have to be very focused and don't get distracted, and you have to focus on the right things that really matter, that really going to make a difference. Where in 6 months, you might make 5,000 per month passive income or 10,000 or whatever. I mean, that would be for many artists really amazing. But if you want to make money super fast, and you can, within a month or 2 months, you can sell your art on Facebook. If you have higher prices, you can make a good living from that very fast, right? So yeah, hope this video helps. If you need more information, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I also want to answer your questions, so maybe I make one video where I go through your questions here on YouTube. But yeah, let me know what you think, and see you in the next video. Peace.